Hi, I'm Colin.
Hey, and I'm Sacha.
Hello, Sacha. How are you?
Oh, I am loving today's topic. We're going to be talking about revamping your resume. I'm so excited about this because it really means that we are able to discover and create and check out what's out there in the resume world. It's such a big scope of how you can make your resume look. There's not one way to do one perfect resume. And I'm all about making sure that we check out all the different styles online, depending on what kind of job and what kind of industry you're actually looking at. And not even just looking at it within Australia, seeing about how we do it all over the world. I mean, I get to work in USA all the time, and their resumes are done in a completely different format to the way that we do it here. So really discovering what you can actually do, because you want your resume to stand out. So check out what's out there, and Google is the first way to start that.
And you know what? People are always scared. I've got to get my resume right. I've got to get my resume right. But let me ask you a question. What's important to you in a resume? What's one thing that's really important to you that's got to stand in a resume?
Do you know the first thing that I look at? What volunteer work have you done? Because you know when we use those words, like we're all using the same words in our resume. So we're using words like, motivated, energetic, quick learner, all of these kind of words. And what I want to be able to do is, especially when you're starting at the bottom, like you've not had a job before, how do you even, get some sort of backup? And if you're using those words, you need to make sure that you have something to back it up with that. So if you're really motivated, then you make sure that you show me, have you done that volunteer work that's gone above and beyond what you normally would have done? Are you motivated? Are you part of the sports team? Are you part of what have you done? Because even though we're starting off on the ground level, we've all done something at school. We've all done that little extra thing that we've volunteered with, or we've helped out with a charity, or not even with that. Even it could be your parents' business, or you've worked out, with their friend's business or something along that line. We've all got something. And so it's about backing up the words that describe you in some sort of, that's what I look for. What do you look for, Colin?
I'm very big on the hobbies, right? So for somebody who hasn't, worked before and doesn't have that history in the workplace, yes, volunteering work I think is absolutely fantastic, but I also look for the hobbies. So I want to know, what are you passionate about? Because I think, that you can bring that into my business. And if I find out that, you love being on social media, or you might love cooking, or you might love reading, that's a really good example. You might like being outdoors, you like building things. So again, if I'm a builder and I'm looking for somebody and I find out that you love building billy carts, I'm just going to use that as an example, then you know what? You're showing that you can know how to use your hands. So people, employers or recruiters, they're always looking for that one little bit of magic that you can bring to the business. It's got to come out in your resume. I've also got something I want to add to that, Sash, because when we look at resumes, people try and fluff them up and try and, make them look good, and they're always changing them. I think it's really important. But what is really important is making sure that grammar and making sure the spelling is 100% right, because in today's world, people are looking for people with attention to detail. So, you know what? You've got to make sure that you get someone to proof it and somebody to check it. But I've also got something to ask you, because I think, when you do your resume and it reflects you, should it be the same if I look at your social media? If I'm looking at a resume and I'm then going to look at social media like your Facebook page or an Instagram page or a LinkedIn page, am I supposed to be seeing the same person?
Oh, absolutely. Your resume, your social media should actually complement your resume, and in the sense of what it shows about yourself. So let's say, for example, you're going out to, you want to get into the events industry, but your Instagram shows that you're home on a Saturday night, every Saturday night, hanging out with your cat. Then realistically, right, it's not showing that you're a social person, and you're not able to, navigate through that social network of what it takes to be involved in events. So yes, a lot of people say, oh, should I put out that I'm going out and I'm going to parties and I'm doing that? As long as you're showing, yes, you're social, and that it's going to complement you in where you want to go in your career, absolutely. I mean, you wouldn't put out that that you're doing silly things or you're inappropriate things. But if it's showing that you're social and that you're actually wanting to go into industry that allows you to be social, absolutely. It's got to complement and say, like I said, if you're using those words to describe yourself, they must also describe yourself on social media, because it's just another way of showing who you are. Because now all of our resumes are even digital, have links to your social media as well, so that people can just click on it and see straight away who exactly that you are.
That's it. Make life easy for the recruiter to click on that link and go, oh, there you are. I've just now seen you. I think what is really, really important, Sash, and I really want to emphasize this to the young people out there is be creative with your resume and link it to an industry. And, my business of Key Business Advisors, which is another business, we just put a job out recent for somebody for a marketing coordinator. So it's like an entry level job. And this lady's resume came out, a nice photo of her in the corner. She had text, this is what I'm all about. And then she had text running vertically, which was a bit different. This is what I love to do. And then all of her social links down below. And I can tell you the 80 odd resumes that come through, everyone stopped at that resume. And guess what? I'm interviewing her tomorrow morning to offer a job for a client.
That also brings us to another thing. What are the pros and cons about putting a photo into a resume? Because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, it's not like a blanket rule to always put it on.
No.
For me, I look at it and say, if you think that your look will fit the industry, absolutely. Use every bonus part that you have to be able to, if you're going for a job in a retail industry, in a clothes industry or anything like that, and you're already got those clothes because you're wearing them all the time, get a photo of you wearing your clothes and then put that onto there, because they're going to be able to see you're already in love with the brand. You're already being able to passionately talk about that brand. So why not use that to your advantage? If you think in any way, shape or form that you fit that, go ahead, put it on there. But then in other sense, make sure that the picture actually fits it. Because there'll be other times where you probably wouldn't put a photo of you spruiking out your clothes. If you're applying for a job in an accountant firm, it wouldn't actually go. No. So make sure that the photo actually does fit what the job is going for as well.
Yeah, and if you're going to be a carpenter, right, and you've done some work in the backyard or something like that, built the tree house. I mean, they don't do that these days, but you build a tree house or you build something, right? Show it off. Put some photos. Bring your personality into your resume. So when I read a resume, I'm seeing a person that I'm starting to get to know. So I think it's really, really important. And one size doesn't fit all. So when you hear out there, you've got to get the perfect resume. There is no perfect resume. Don't you agree with that, Sash?
100%. And then going back to that, transferable skills. That is like incredible, especially when you've never had a job before. Where do you even start? So I always look at that and say, what have I done in the past that I could have possibly, not in a job sense, just in stuff at home, what have I done in the past that would complement this industry that I'm getting into? Yep. So for example, let's say you want to get a job at a cafe, which is a great place that a majority of young people start.